So just finished another Voices from the Sperrins podcast. My guests were Ashelene Flanagan and Eileen Watson. They're members of the Ballinascreen GAA ladies football team. We chatted about how it all started, the early coaches, early matches, how they got to the matches. We also chatted about what it's like being in a team now, what the GAA structures are in Derry for ladies football, what the structures are in Ireland for the GAA. And we talk a bit about the old days, about the first All-Irelands, who took part in them, who won, and I suppose the aspirations of Ballinascreen football ladies team at the minute. We also chatted about Ashelene and her international rules series that she was picked for, along with Nuala O'Hagan from Swatra. They both went out and represented Ireland. We chatted a bit about that. So all I have to say is thanks to anybody that has downloaded our podcast, listened to it on YouTube, leave some comments. We'd love to get back to them. And also, if you can subscribe to our YouTube, that'd be brilliant. Thanks very much, and all the best from me and my team. Cheers. Here we are at the next Voices from the Sperrins. And our guests are Eileen and Ashelene. So I suppose I'll give a wee bit of an insight into what the Voices in the Sperrins is in general for people out there, and what this project is at the minute. So the Heritage Lottery ladies have come and got involved with us here, and we're looking at, I suppose, the heritage, the history, how it came about, the Gaelic for ladies that you are involved in, and the same with the other podcasts locally we're doing. There's a few more, I could name a pile, but for instance, the Scouts were on today doing bits and pieces. We're getting extra footage of their all that they're involved in, and your name came up, Ashelene. You're a lady of many talents. You know how to tie the ropes.
Oh, I do, surely.
And you know how to flick do you remember what they call them?
Oh God, no, I don't remember that, but I remember doing the knots in the ropes.
Did they come in handy for you in later life?
I did, surely. Cooking out camping and everything, very useful.
If you were dropped in Feine Forest, you could survive.
Well, the size made definitely survive. I wouldn't fade away.
How long can the human body last? No, there's plenty of water there. Lord be fox, you might have to scalp him or something. So, as I say, the whole project, and thanks to the Heritage Lottery and the lottery players out there for making this possible. Before we start it all off, would you like to introduce yourselves, tell us a bit about yourself, how you got involved, your family, and just how it all came about for you, Eileen. So tell all who's involved in your family, and even your own children now and all at the minute, just to give them a wee plug.
I'm Eileen Watson, nee McBride, from Monina. I'm the oldest of 6, 4 girls, 2 boys. My mother's Paddy, and my father's John Francis, and I was reared on a farm, and as for sport, was really non-existent until got married and started my own family, and then that's how I got into the football.
Was that when your own children grew up?
No.
No,
my first child was only 4 when I started playing.
Brilliant.
She was there with a wee pair of wellies on.
Brilliant.
They're now, I have 2 girls and a boy and 2 grandchildren. And
you don't look like a granny. Could I just say
yes.
that? Do you remember when we gathered all the footage together and we were over in the field?
Yes.
And there was a lady, Brenda, we took out, and very, very nice lady, and she spoke about being a grandmother and how it was so inclusive what you were doing, and it was great for her to get out. You just jumped out of the halfway line and says, "I'm a granny too."
Of course.
So you did, yeah. And
I'm a granny. The only thing is they're in Australia. All of them.
Well, do you want to give them a shout out?
Hi everybody in Australia. Wish I was there.
So get that ticket, put the money together, get your mammy, granny over to what part of Australia?
They're in Brisbane.
Brilliant. And you didn't mention your family, your home family's names.
Yes. Well, there's Michael, Assumpta, Margaret, Sean, and Rosaline. Rosaline actually still plays with Mothers and Others with me.
Brilliant.
We played senior together, and I played Mothers and Others, even though there's 10 years between us.
Yeah, you're the young one?
Yes, I'm the young one.
That's right.
We keep telling her that.
So that's really good. And you were brought up on a farm, so you. I noticed when you were training, you're not afraid to get stuck in there. And
no.
you done a great block. I didn't know on that day. I noticed that. Was that. Did you remember?
Yes.
That's class. So, no, thanks. We'll pause it for there now. Ashelene, so I would just go straight in with Ashelene G, but
Yeah, well, I'm Ashelene Flanagan. Sometimes I forget to change my name. I was Ashelene Groogan. I'm married a year now, but and we originally lived in the town and moved out to Monina, and I suppose our family's always been involved in the club. I would have played camogie and football. My father, Patsy, has coached underage hurling. He did take football as well in the early days, but from my was no age, Daddy was taking hurling. My mummy never really was coaching. We've all played.
You're a true Gael family.
Well, I suppose myself and Leona's the baby of the house. We have won a couple of senior championships together. Then I got her roped in to coaching. So we've been coaching a long time together. I suppose Leona's only 29 now, but there was days kicking and screaming. I had her out helping me. I say I'm the middle child syndrome of older sister Michelle, who's now married to Groogan, and all her children are currently playing. She is 5, and I've actually coached her daughter, who reminds me of myself, a bull terrier on the pitch.
Would you fought a bit?
No, I just wouldn't have let anybody.
Was she not a back down, Eileen?
No.
She wasn't, no backing down. So and your brothers?
Yeah, I have one brother then, Paddy, who would have coached hurling and camogie as well. And then middle child, as I say, black sheep of the house is myself. And then
I was a middle child too, so we can bay together.
Then Danielle, who played a bit of underage camogie. She wouldn't have played much football now, but as I say, then Leona, as I say, was out helping me. But say we've been involved now, all of us pretty much in the club, volunteering, giving up our time for quite a few years now.
Brilliant. And I should say in this project, as you're both aware, we've been doing bits and pieces of training out around the podcast, and today we have 2 young future stars in with us, Molly and Blaheen. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
I got a smile from over there. Similar, no appendix. We're rock. Thumb up. Are you rocking? Yeah. What can I hear?
Yes.
Yeah. And Molly, are you rocking? Yeah. I should say Molly last week was sitting right here, and it was Convince Molly podcast. He is a legend of the podcast world at the minute. So I want to, suppose, talk about, like I was just saying about the training there that's going on around this, but I wanted to bring the 2 years back, if somebody wants to talk about it, back to the first ladies GAA meeting in Thurles in 1974. 74. So this is like a wee quiz for you, right? And we've got our own wee ask a question, Paddy. So there was 4 counties there. Can you remember who them counties were before I lift my sheets to help you along?
Do you know what, Paddy? That's a good question. And research, and I definitely didn't look at it. But I can make a good guess.
I'll look at the sheet here. We'll just pause, right? So, right. So it's called the Hayes Hotel, Thurles, 1974, right? And there was 4 counties turned up. So I'll give you, the first one starts with O.
Awfully.
Nice of you, thank you. So the next one was the mighty, they're just mighty. They're
Cork.
No. They have a butter named after them. And it's like there's a
Tipperary.
gold, something gold.
Kerry
gold. Cha-ching! That's only 2 points. You could have got 5 there. So the third one is, you said Tipperary?
Yeah.
You're correct. And Stella's mother, God rest her, was from this county. I'll give you a wee idea. Her hometown was Tuam. So the 4th county was? Galway, right. And then, so that was all right. When the All-Ireland itself, the first one happened, there was actually 8 counties. And so we've mentioned 4 there. So the 4 other counties that took part, you mentioned one there, began with C.
Cork.
They speak very fast. 2945. So
Cork,
that was Cork, yeah. And we had Kerry, we had Tipperary, and the other county with a clue.
Tyrone.
It's in the bottle. It's in the bottle.
That's water or what?
Yeah, water.
Where'd it come from?
Water.
Waterford.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking Tyrone.
No. Can't make it simple because there's no crack there. And so we had Waterford, Galway, and Pulp wrote a song called Common People. I left a wee bit out before that. There was another county called Something Common.
Roscommon.
It's a draw. It's all. I'm so sweating out here. We're supposed to do the podcast with history of Ballinascreen, but this is lethal. Right. So here we are. We've got the teams. Yep. So this is it for the winner. Who won the first All-Ireland Ladies Football Championship?
Cork.
Something my hat. I'll give you a clue.
No idea. Something my hat.
I tip my
Tipperary.
I tip my fucking hat is right, Tipperary. So now, what I wanted to ask on behalf of that there was, there we were in 1974. So 21 years later, Derry started their ladies, I suppose, constituted it and all that there. So I suppose I wanted to ask the two of yous, why do you think it took so long for Derry to come into jump into the equation?
Well, I guess it was always because it was camogie was always the number one sport in Derry, so it was always, it's camogie, and that's why a lot of clubs didn't want it. And it's only now there is clubs that were always camogie are now starting ladies football now in 2024, but it probably was because clubs were concentrating on camogie, and camogie was the main ladies sport and it wasn't looked upon. I think that's why it took a lot of approval or took a lot of time for clubs in Derry then to get approval to get it going.
Yeah, I just suppose I wanted to ask here, is that because was Ulster behind Munster, Leinster and Connacht in that sense? Or
well, Ulster ladies have been going a long time too.
Yeah.
Ronan McCarthy probably kill me by not knowing exact date, but Ulster ladies I suppose was encouraging clubs and counties to come on board, but it just took a lot of time to break through because, in Derry, because I say camogie was the first sport going a long, long time. It was hard to get in to get the break.
And so, I suppose going back to that time, then I suppose activating the start of Ballinascreen ladies in football, which was in the 90s, is that right? Mm-hmm. And 94, is that?
1994. Yeah. No, well, 98 was first time screen. Derry, the first time Derry had clubs was in 1994. The first clubs were in Derry.
And who was the first clubs in Derry?
Do you know what? I had did this research. I'm not even sure. Glen was always going, and I think Swatter had a team in the early days, and now they had none. They had none till now, but Swatter was one of the first, believe it or not. And then I can't even remember the list. I had the list. I can't remember now.
And do you see there? I suppose for yourselves, you were mentioning there camogie, and then all of a sudden, ladies football come along. So there was always, say, hurling and Gaelic as such. And that here we were back in 1974 in the first sort of, amalgamation, if that's all right to say. But it's quite strange. Tipperary, I think won in the first, because I don't know, I would have took that for maybe camogie or maybe stronger down. So when Screen started for yourselves, I suppose I should say too at this stage, we'll be looking at, I suppose, from how you began, how it evolved, and how, look at them lovely people there. Is this all how it began? Here we are. Brief history of Ballinascreen football. So now we're looking at this here. People are going to look at this here now, and now we want to go along and maybe give people an idea of who all these people were. So do you want to start on the left? Do you know them?
Yeah, well, I'll go to the front. I'll go to the front and you go. So in the front there we have Rosie McBride, who's actually married to Rafferty now, and then Caroline McWilliams, who is married to Convery in Slacknell. Helena Convery, she was Helena Glass. Then you've Veronica McCloskey, Fullerton, which is mad now to think that Shona is actually playing seniors, and Veronica actually was the captain at that time. Then you've got Shauna Kelly, Nuala McKenna and Kerry McNally. Then you've myself in the back row, and that girl's McCullough, I can't remember her first name. Then you've Eileen Conway, I'm not sure who she's married to, Mary McKenna, Patricia Moore, Tracy Kelly, and then you've got Ciara Moore and Mary. I think she was okay. And a funny story about them two girls in the last row is we were all playing where we first started. We were all playing for Mickey Neely's bar in the pub league, but them two girls were playing.
The original T-shirt.
Was that the original one there?
That was the original.
Just give it a wee sort of a swell. Do you want to give it over to me here, and I'll give a big out here. So here we are. Who shot JR? Do we like it now? We should have. You girls should have been on here modelling this wee T-shirt for us. So this is the first T-shirt. Now, looking at the T-shirt and all that there, Neely's Bar. So Neely's Bar, give an insight to the people there, where that was, who ran it, and at what time.
Yeah,
that was Mickey Neely.
Yeah.
Or Kelly, at site in Monina, and he started. It was actually a soccer league. We started with him, and then was it Monina Sports?
Yeah. Then we had played in. We went to Monina Sports, and we actually played in Feile Fair. So we had a couple of days out.
Was that like pub, just soccer league at that time?
Yeah, no, that was Gaelic actually. Then at Monina Sports, but yeah, we first started.
The
it was soccer.
Were together, kind of soccer.
Kind of. That's when we says, Jesus, we'll bring it to the club and that's what we were going. And that last photo, the last two girls then, funny, were from Craigban and they didn't have a team. So believe it or not, Mickey Neely lifted them two girls every night because neither of the two of them had a licence. In the team photo.
Yeah,
so he collected them every night for training and matches that they were over to help us. Because as you've seen, that was as big as the panel was
at
good. The start.
And I suppose, for me, and for people listening, the pub league started, and then was that their organic time that you sort of thought, right, we can have a Gaelic team here. And once that happened, Eileen and Ashelene, who did you go to locally within the GAA or how did you sell it to them at that time? Because it was new. It's like, as you say, there was a strong contingent of Gaelic, hurling and camogie, and here was something new that was coming into Ballinascreen area, and I suppose for being new, you guys were part of the innovation of it all. Do you know what I mean? So you were there at the early time. So tell us what that was like, and how did you meet up and the training and.
Well, to start,
the meet-up was Mulligan's Bar. Neely's Bar,
like
sorry, there's Mulligan's now.
So do you think this man started this team so he'd get a pile of ladies in the bar to drink and then get all their partners on? Did that work? Did it? So Mickey, you knew what you were at, lad.
I suppose the pub league was going for quite a few years and it was all the local bars because it was the boys' teams, and then so I suppose that was going a while. But as I say, we were in the high school at the time. We were playing ladies football at P7. We had got to the NTOs down in Donegal, so there was a bit of hunger in the school to get it. But as I say, it was really Mickey Neely and all them girls like Eileen and Veronica and that were drinking in the bar had gathered up the wee team, and because the hunger was there, I think it was myself and Nuala McKenna were determined to try and get it going. It just got turned down a few years, but then it was when we gathered the girls up, I think it was Mickey and a few of the girls had went to the club then to try and get it passed, and it was 1998 then before we had our first official team, and believe it or not, we were in our first final exactly a year later. So
that was pretty good.
The two girls, we did lost the two girls from Craigban to their own team because then Craigban came on board, so there's plenty of new teams then after we get set up.
And is that like a partnership that's still there, that you'd go to play Craigban, or is that
we're probably the same. Believe it or not, Ciara in that photo and myself went out to America to play for Donegal. And we played county together then after that. So myself and Ciara went out to play for Donegal. I think it was in 2005. We went out a couple of summers then to play.
And where did you just play then, or what was that?
Where did we play? It was just we at that time, believe it or not, I had always heard of the boys having plenty of money paying the players out, and I must say I was very grateful. Donegal did have the money to take us girls out. Now I mightn't have been no good, but they didn't know that. And it was
they
a
wouldn't have picked you if you hadn't been any good. Now,
well, to be honest,
you don't get picked in a county team just by luck. You have to be good at that. You know what I mean?
But myself and Ciara had got paid out by Donegal, and they really looked after us. Fully paid apartment, and as I say, then that year we had won the North Americans, but it was just a good experience, and it was mad because me and Ciara was playing in the first ever club team then to play county together and then get the opportunity to go to America. Like, so.
Brilliant. Right. Well, we're going to chat about that later on. And so here you have started up. And like any team, we've seen the first T-shirt that was. First. We call it I don't know, kit.
Yeah.
First kit. So, have you still got one of them?
This was mine.
That
was my one. I always kept in the cupboard.
Brilliant. And have you kept one?
Oh no, and I do hard.
Did you
things,
throw
but-
yours away to the fans after?
That was it.
It wouldn't be a safe thing to do for a lady. Right? I was just thinking, man, whoosh, no, ladies, don't do that.
No.
So the first, your first kit, we chatted. I'm aware that it was. So Nilly's bar was still there, and Lawrence O'Keefe, is that right? Came in.
Yeah. I asked Lawrence would he sponsor us for a kit, and yes, he did. It was great.
Brilliant.
So we got our new O'Keefe's kits and
Uh,
more
Here they are.
Gaelic football like.
It's all look very, very dashing and that
Thank you.
day. And so. No, there's different people.
Yeah.
No, is that the same?
No,
different
No,
there's
there's a
some
few-
new people there.
Rip them out, ladies. Rip them out if you can see
Well,
them.
I see Paula Toner there in the back.
Marguerite
Paula's
Oh.
over at the right, not right? Over there?
yeah.
And
She's
who's the
a-
lady
yeah.
beside Paula on the blue?
It looks like Sheena McCaver.
Yeah.
Oh, there
It
you
is,
go,
yeah.
Sheena. Emma, I'll be glad to see your mummy played football. I did play senior camogie along with Sheena, and that's mad to see a photo. I actually didn't remember her playing football.
There
And
you go.
Caroline
then,
McWilliams in the first one.
yeah, Caroline was.
Yeah.
And then that's Claire McGuigan there beside Patricia Moore, and Claire
Yeah.
McGuigan's Malaghy's daughter.
There you go.
And beside Patricia on the other side, Ethna Beneath O'Hagan. And then if you zoom out there, just Eilish O'Neill, actually, that's a wee girl McNally Carey, I think she
Carey,
was.
yeah.
And then beside her is actually Eilish O'Neill. Shandy's Eilish. I haven't seen Eilish now in years. Eilish
right.
was a fantastic camogie player, but yeah, so she was on. That was the second year then we were up and
That's
running.
you, Eileen, there.
Yes, that's me.
That's you. Don't be scared to mention yourself there now. Give yourself a plug there.
And that's my sister in the front.
And what do you call your sister there?
Rosie.
That's
Rafferty.
Rafferty, yeah.
Yeah.
Cora. So Cora used to be in here. She was a
Yes,
tutor. There you go. And they're the double of each other, aren't they?
I know.
Both curly hair and all.
Yeah.
And you have curly hair too. It must run in the
yeah.
throughout the family, like, you know. So, and that team there.
Sorry, just Orla Jock wasn't in the first. Orla
Yes.
Groogan, so Orla Jock, we would have called her second
Yeah.
last in the front. And then that the other wee girl was from Sixtown. She was a good footballer. Claire Bradley is her
Claire
name. Was a
Bradley, yeah.
really good footballer. But that's Orla Groogan there, second last at the front.
And so this is the early days, right? And so you were both there in the early days. And so what kind of, who did you play and what leagues were happening then and stuff like, what were your early memories of teams? You mentioned there.
Well, in
Craig.
a year later, it was Craig Ban had beat us then in our first final. That's our first final there. Craig Ban had beat us.
So the team that two ladies had joined you in the early days, they went and they done the double.
Yeah, well, they ended that. They had played for us the first year. Sorry, we had played Ballinacreen. Our first game was against Ballinacreen, and it's mad because Ballinacreen now have underage and they're going really well, and people don't remember when Ballinacreen had a team, but Ballinacreen were really good. They had some really good players. Like I remember even Paula Bell and all playing for Ballinacreen. They had really good players, but that's our first match there was against Ballinacreen. And then, as I say, Craig Ban was our first final in 1998. But that's when then after Keane sponsored us, then we did get sponsored by the credit union, which, to be fair, and I'm involved in integration and my job, to be fair, we're probably one of the very lucky clubs to be brought under the one umbrella, to be in the one club model.
Especially with 4 codes.
So just for people out there watching and listening to podcasts that, because people listen to this all over the place, that they don't understand what that means. So I'm going to give a bit of an insight. So I suppose the early days you had had hurling, Gaelic and camogie. And so you're saying that them three were under a club banner. So does that mean things like when you paid for, one, they covered the 3, is that right? Or do you pay for every single one separately?
You know, when you pledge your club membership, it covered you. But to be fair, and I only know this because I've been involved in registration, to be a dual player for Camogie football, there are separate registrations. So to be fair to the club, for somebody to play dual, it did always cost them. People outside aren't aware of that. But
you can explain why that would be. You know.
It's just the registration fees. Like, you know, it was like, say, €48 to play camogie and 48 to play ladies football, but our membership might have been only £30. Like, to be fair, the club looked after, so they would have subsidised and paid the rest, you know, and that's stuff that outside people wouldn't see. And like, I know a lot of clubs are coming on to me now asking, how do we, you know, do the one club model? But we've been lucky, I suppose, sharing their facilities. Now, in the early days, we would have been using the school pitch,
one up
and the training pitch.
Up Cahor? Is that up Cahor?
No, there was one
over
Straw.
Up Straw, opposite the main pitch. Where the new houses are at now.
That
would have been there.
But we still would have always got to use the club facilities. You know, we were lucky. Like, and I know from experience going back or speaking to other clubs from early days, they didn't have that luxury. They weren't able to share. They always had problems and weren't sharing the facilities. So we have been lucky. Like,
why do you think that was? Is that something that maybe certain clubs weren't ready for the change that Ballinascreen was doing at that time?
Yeah, well, to be fair,
because you're experienced in it, you've been around, so you probably heard.
Well, we have really adapted from day one. Like, no, as I say, it did take us a while probably to get past, to get the ladies football going, but I just don't know, because you know, there's other clubs that have been successful and they just haven't been able to share their facilities, and I'm not even going into naming them, you know. But like, for an example, Dungiven ladies has been going a long time, and now this year they are hopefully going to go under the one club banner, but say integration's only really coming on board to be improved now. But
and you just mentioned Dungiven there. I'm aware when I used to play hurling, so they had a separate Kevin Lynch's hurling club, and then the Dungiven GAA club.
St. Canice's, but I think they're making good work now this year now, and their ladies football has been really going a long time. They were one of the early clubs that we would have played against. And
there you go.
In the early days, I remember me and Noel McKenna playing for Derry. It was always practically Ballinderry ourselves, and Dungiven providing the players for the county team. And so Dungiven's going Trisha and Tara Cook, but a long time, and they've always been in their own, but as I say,
and they're a town and club steeped in GAA history in County Derry.
But it's been working well for them, as I say. Just like, we've been lucky that we've under the one sponsorship, and you know that the club has looked after us well.
Brilliant, and that's good. And I suppose for other clubs out there that may be watching this, you know, and I know you work for the GAA at a higher level. Is it something they should talk to you about, and how it came about, and how Ballinascreen embraced it, and now Dungiven is? Because I read somewhere, I don't know, I don't want to say the wrong president of Ireland. I'm going to say Mary Robinson.
Mary McAleese.
Mary McAleese, one of the Marys. Yeah, so it is, and not Heel, because you missed Mass tonight, and so did them two girls over there. No, we didn't, Father, we were at Mass, but I can hear Mass in the duties. Just for people out there, because I heard her speaking, and for you being a GAA member, so I think I picked up that she was saying that she wanted to amalgamate, like you're talking about there, the whole island of Ireland. Is that right, north and south? Yeah,
she had been encouraging everybody to come under the one club model, and to be honest, being involved in the club, both being a dual player, and I'm on the integration committee in Ulster. To be fair to Ulster, like, we try to have camogie games before football games if we can, or ladies games, like Derry ladies played Fermanagh before Derry in Healy Park, you know, so they are giving them the platform to have their big games on championship days, like Ulster Championship Day, you know, given the opportunity. So integration in Ulster has been working well, like, as far as I can mind, but as I say, she's really pushing for all to go under the one. The only thing I would really like is, and to save clubs money, that it's the one membership, that you're not having to pay separate. Now, we're all on the Unfairness system, which is all the one registration system, but you still are paying your separate fees. But as far as I know,
something that's come down through the time of GAA? Because I know I'm aware I used to pay fees and all, and I suppose to make people aware them fees are going towards the background of all that you're doing, isn't that right? Because I remember years ago, you spoke about your father and different people like Paddy McKenna and Seamus Doherty, I remember, and all them people that would have volunteered their cars, to take you to matches and all. But now young people can get, coaches and buses and all, all the rest that maybe wasn't there then. And probably because of the early days of that, there maybe wasn't the money in, to be honest, in the area, or, maybe the jobs as such, where now everywhere you look, I suppose I can say this, you wore a GAA top in the old days to play a team.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And and you were proud of that, that crest that you wore and represent your club, or you say county or whatever it is. Now the GAA, it's like the fashion is, everyone, young people wearing the GAA hoodies, and it seemed to just explode as last maybe 15 years, would you say? And that it's become trendy to wear a top, where maybe in the old days, you couldn't wear a top. I remember one time I got a Kilkenny top when we were on a trip, and like someone said, don't wear that down the street, you know what I mean? But everybody was wondering, how'd you get that? Like, there was no tops, and it was just, I was in a house and the father gave it to me. So what you're thinking now, what I feel anyway, that the integration of the GAA, and like even from the early days of the Gaelic and the Camogie, and now the ladies football, what's your feelings in that there, being sort of from ladies football from the early days to now? What changes have you seen, and is there more people getting involved, or are clubs getting more organised, or?
Yeah, there's more and more clubs coming on board. That's the main thing. Or like clubs that used to be involved and are now back up, as I say, Ballinderry and Swatra. Like they're like Swatra would always have been a camogie club. Now their underage is going well. Ballinderry is going well. Like there's more and more clubs coming on board. And as I say, I'm just guessing they're all in the one club model because they're recently formed. But you're right, people are more proud to wear their GAA gear, to say they're involved in the GAA, and you see more and more people wearing their club gear. They're proud of where they're from.
Yeah, all over the town you see kids wearing it. And does that help the club, raise more finance, or is it just more marketing? I know it's because I know they're dear to make and all that there. And
GAA gear's got dear, but I wouldn't say people that's really where help them big financial wise, really and truly. But it gives people a sense of belonging to see everybody in their club gear. I wouldn't really say financial wise it would be, not that I say the club is open every Friday night, everybody's every opportunity to go and buy the gear. I'm not, see, it used to be I suppose it was sold in the credit union going back.
It was just a wee bit in the wall, it was like the holy grail. Have to get a loan out, Danny. Need a loan out there. What for, Paddy? That was beautiful top up there, the championship one or whatever. So we're going to go forward now, or go back, I suppose, whatever you want to say. And how, for youths and seniors, I suppose I want to go back to the crux of it. The early training, what was it like? Was it tough, or was it, did you train? I don't want to say wrong, because I'm going to say this. Years ago, there were certain forms of training, and they may not, fast forward now, be proved that they were good for you, carrying someone that's a heavyweight on your back, and weird things and sit-ups and press-ups and all that there and running. What kind of training did you do at that time? Was it all about the ball and skill?
There's definitely no strength and conditioning.
No, definitely not.
And you might have went for a wee Bacardi Breezer and a Chinese afterwards. There
That's
was no
why
diet.
you're so fit.
There was no diet at them days. But it was great. We were out, us younger ones were out, the older ones, and you were back at Neely's afterwards for a bit of crack. And it was really enjoyable.
And when you were young at that time, you weren't married or anything, you were just young.
I was just married.
You were just married. You couldn't wait to get out of the house, could you? Just get away.
I dragged her everywhere.
And what was your wee title of choice? What did you like?
Bacardi Breezer. That's it.
I must, 2 Bacardi Breezers, please. Get them up here right now. Molly and Blahan, 2 Bacardi Breezers. Just over Tony, so get them in now. And so that, go back to them. So I suppose as you say, because at them days it was about the crack. Yeah. It was about getting involved. It was about there's two sides of sport, right? There's the we have to win, and then there's the other ones, just get involved. Like I picked that up from yourselves, some of the people that train with you, and said it was about getting out of the house. It was about meeting friends. Like you seem to be good friends. And it was about, mental health. So I suppose I want, like, for you two there, for people maybe listening and even to sort of maybe get involved and stuff, tell us some of the benefits that you get out of playing Ladies GAA. Obviously, the Bacardi Breezers is number one. Number one. I bet you when you feel them in, but Jesus, a week, see your dog. Do you be all of that crack, do you? Do you?
Well, maybe we do. Could happen.
I love it. Fucking tell you what, Paddy. See you at number 8. See you next time. I don't want to say any words, and that's why I wanted to say that, because you play, if people play Gaelic or they play hurling, and there's a certain amount of physicality in it, involved. So for, I suppose, anyone listening, do the rules change for ladies? Are you allowed to? I don't really know much. Can you tell us?
It's supposed to be non-contact, but
Eileen, I seen you in action over there. I reckon you'd get a bale of hay and just fire it out of the way like pepper cup, and I could get to see you leaning down there now. Yeah. So you're not allowed to make physical contact. Explain that to me. You're not allowed to shoulder or
it's not supposed to be. But hey, two girls going for the same ball. Somebody has to get it.
There's an old saying: "Whoever gets there first," isn't that it?
Yeah.
And when you're playing there, is there any, like, the way sometimes, I just want to bring up, sometimes people you could be playing with somebody over the years and there's this thing about them and you just think, I'm going to get this ball, I'm going to beat them, I'm going to do this. And they could be quite fidgety or agitated too.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is there any sort of physical, would you get somebody and,
there's no that, but there were plenty of us were lost temper training.
There was a girl stormed off one day.
Tell the world out there. Don't say her name. Tell her name if you want. Maybe she wants her name.
She was full back.
Yeah. I thought you were
and she was a good height, but she was marking a small full forward.
Yes.
So every time this girl went to mark her, the girl done a drama and went on the ground.
A bit like, I don't want to say that other sport, the boys, the roll for a while.
So it got to the stage, every time the girl moved, she was being fouled. So she actually did walk off the field and say, there's no point even me being there because it's a waste of time.
She just kept falling.
She kept falling. Kept falling.
And did the referee do?
No.
Well, that was the kind of, when you were training, I always let go, like. But the whistle mightn't have been blowing. But,
was that to toughen up for the match, or
kind
of? And so no, that's fine. I just wanted to know that between the two of you, I think, Eileen, you're the one. Don't mess about. I'm going to do. Would you be the same, Ashley?
Yes.
Oh no. Sorry.
Could I just say, like sometimes you play hurling or camogie and all. It's a different. You throw your arm back. Do you do that when you're playing the Gaelic, or had you done that? What I mean is somebody running onto your fist, but it's accidental because you.
Oh no, I wouldn't have been dirty like that.
No, you wouldn't.
The wee elbow might have went back. But
see, you were just saying. I've just said it to you. I want to be dirty, Paddy. I exactly said what I like. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of, and the ref can never catch it.
Protecting yourself.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, I tried to say that plenty of times too. So, we're just looking over here. We've got the mighty 208, 210. So the 208 team.
Yeah, so in 2008 now, James O'Keehan had took us. To be honest, I had just came home from America that year, just before the county final. But we did really well that year and got a county final, or an Ulster final against Truya and Monaghan. And to be honest, there was 10 of them girls that were under 16. Now, you wouldn't have 10 girls playing senior now at under 16. Some people might frown upon, but there were 10 of them girls, believe it or not, were under 16. But anyway, it was a really windy, rotten day in Galway and
County Tyrone.
In Tyrone, yeah, and
a hard place to go and play a match. I would say
it was very windy. But to be honest, we were up at half time and we were playing really well. And I just watched the video back not that long ago, and you wouldn't believe how sickening it was. We had a goal that was over the line. We were still disputing it was over the line, and in the last, I think, 30 seconds, Louise Murphy came on, and she was so unlucky. It hit the post, and the goal just wasn't going to come for us. But we did really well that year now and got till an Ulster final, as I say.
And that team there, there's loads of new people from the early pictures, isn't there?
Yeah.
Louise Murphy, I think I've seen a profile of her in the book you had on the 90 years of Ballinascreen.
Yeah, because she was captain. Louise, it came on. I'm trying to see if there's anybody.
Under 14s when we started. No, they would have been. I'd have been coaching a lot of those.
A lot of these ones here.
Yeah, the underage ones.
Yeah, and so
young ones.
and so like you were saying, a lot of under 16s were playing. Is there something that you're too young at 16 to play senior?
No, you can play up. The rule in ladies football's always been you can play up 2 grades. So I suppose they could play minors and seniors. So the rule has always been that they could play up 2 grades. But I see Brenda Kidd there in the front row. Brenda can be a bit dramatic. Sometimes Brenda would have been great crack at training. Now, previous to that, we would have had girls like Rosh McDade, Rosina Bradley, and Orla Jack, and they would have been mental at training. Roshin in her wee 206, the hairy rides and her.
Did you just pack everybody into the cars was heads upside down and
I had to start. She was always in my car. She actually, her and Nuala busted the horn of my car coming home one day.
We must have won something, and we were blaring horn. We had to won something.
Name the towns you were beeping it in on the way back.
Jesus, Lord knows.
Don't know. By the time we got round the roundabout,
we definitely won.
That's a sort of tradition in Ballinascreen, isn't it? If it's either you're being tired up and fired full of eggs and flour and everybody's just laughing at the people hung apart and all that stuff, or there's a championship one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so we'll go on to another wee picture down below it, the 210.
Yeah, so...
And I can see there where Ballinascreen Credit Union, you mentioned that they come in, they're the overall sponsor now of the team?
They were at the time, Ballinascreen Credit Union sponsored the club for a long time. Now it's H&A, and then, as I say, it was Clone Construction. Does the underage, but in 2010 that photo now is that was again we had won the championship and got to an Ulster final. You can see Brian Groogan's
in the right,
and
he
was one
Damien
of Damien Neely,
Damien Kelly over there,
and then on the other side Jerry Grant
there.
So
they're the management team.
They were a management team, and we got beat by Oma that year in an Ulster final. And do you know what? It's just mad to get to an Ulster final 2 years later. 2008 we had got beat, as I say, and then we did get beat in 2010. Now we were very lucky in 2008, but Oma had beat us that year in the Ulster
There wasn't
final.
much in it. I was looking in some of the notes. There was only a few points, isn't that right?
I think there might
Couple
have
of
been
points,
four maybe. In that one there was a goal definitely in 2008 now, but in that one now there'll be quite a few of them still played senior there. You have Catherine McNamee, Claire Kelly, Danya now. Well, Anya McAllister, if you see Anya McAllister's still there, and Sarah was on their first one in 2010. She was still under 16 in that, or 2008 team, sorry. And then Katrina, there's Annie McBride, Jenny Kelly, Nolan Murphy played for us, Brona McGillion was playing football, Teresa
Is that
Bradley.
Jenny and Jenny Clerkin, the goalie?
Yeah. Jenny was also handy outfield, but she would have did goals.
There you go.
For us. So that was an Ulster final that we got beat in.
And that's, I suppose, that goes back to what we were talking earlier on about, just getting so close, and then, and I'm sure that's disappointing. And so the team below it were getting on 2012.
Yeah, so 2012.
To see a plaque there, is that the junior championship?
Yeah, junior. That was Mary Teresa Scullion was captain. Say Jenny's back in goals there again. So some of the same people there, Annie and Patricia, Sarah and Louise Murphy still there, Anya, Teresa Bradley was there. So some of the same people back in there. We got, like as I say, 8 and 10 we did won county championships, but just unlucky in Ulster. But
you find there that, you just mentioned there the teams, like we'll talk later on about dual players. Did that help playing camogie and then playing football? Did you? Because you're talking about one in there, and obviously to get to that level, you had to do a lot of training, you had to believe in yourself, you had to get through the matches. Who did you play just through that tournament to get to the Ulster final? Can you remember some of the teams you played?
I just remember in 2010, believe it or not, I had come home, myself and Nuala O'Hagan from Glen was away playing Aussie rules.
Swatra?
She was from Swatter, but she was playing football for Glen. And we flew home the first game in the Ulster Club. We played Tempo and Ballinascreen. And then we played a down team. And then, as I say, Oma. But in the county finals now, I think the 2008, we beat, the county final was in Glen. Might have been Desert Martin, 2008. I think we beat Desert Martin in Glen.
Neighbours.
In 2008, as I say, I'd only came home from America that year. And then 2010, I actually can't remember who we won. I just remember we got through the Ulster final. And then 2014, I say we won the championship. We beat Ballinacreen. I was actually captain that year.
Oh,
yeah. So,
how did you feel to be captain? Good.
It was. Do you know what? Myself and Leona played together. Leona's there at the back, I think, with a fist up. Again, you have the likes of Claire McGraw, Annie again, Louise Murphy, Catherine, that were all still playing seniors. Rachel McAllister there at the front. All still playing seniors now. Like Teresa Bradley would have been in the last couple of teams, Katrina McBride. So Sarah was there, and all three of them. And Anya again, Anya's still playing senior. So it's mad to see the same girls and some of them.
Well, listening to you and as the time unfolded, people were getting more committed. It wasn't a one-off. You were putting in the miles, putting in the time,
and they were dual players, like I say. Yeah, then this is where we had won 2 back-to-backs, and senior, we were up into senior now.
So 2017, 18, 19, 20, at 4 championships in a row. Isn't that right?
That was our underage. 2018 and 2019, we had won. 2018 and 2019 we won senior championships, so that was up into seniors. That was our first time being up into senior championship. As I say, Mickey Neely, imagine, was involved in our first team, and he was involved in the 2018 and 2019 management team from our first team in 1998. He's still involved there.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so 2018 and 19 was our first year in at seniors, and we won 2 in a row. As you can see, there was 2 boys, and if you go down, that's Jerry and Brian Duffy were 2 boys from Derry Columkill were in to take us that year.
The 2 gentlemen on the right hand side.
Yeah,
they weren't from the screen.
No, them 2 boys were from Derry Columkill, and I know a lot of people now are taking teams for Brian Ambrose, but them 2 boys did it for the love of and really enjoyed taking us. And Brian would keep in touch and passionate about screen. I actually seen him at a Derry game wearing his Ballinascreen top. But
brilliant.
So Jerry would have been really good at taking photos, because a lot of times girls don't have action shots or photos. That's what we would have been lacking of. I suppose Eileen can touch when we started Underage. We don't have a lot of underage photos because we didn't have photographers out taking.
Yeah, and I suppose in them days, there wouldn't have been loads of mobiles like people would have now just to take pictures.
That's why
sometimes not a lot of people even there to watch.
And so, just for the people out there listening, how did that all come about? Was it something you all chatted about? God, we've got the senior team now. Maybe we could introduce.
It was actually, I was volunteering at Monina Youth Club. Was the wee shop Wally's used to be.
Yeah.
Down the 5 Mile Street, and McShane, yeah.
To the left as you dip down the hall.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And we were playing football, Gaelic or whatever, and the boys were playing against the girls, and the girls were moaning, why is there no football for us?
There you go.
So I actually came back, and it was one of our senior meetings, and I suggested, could we start it? So got to go ahead to go to the high school, and me and Patricia Moran went the first night, and there was 40 to 50 girls appeared.
Wow.
And then John McEldowney came in.
How did you advertise that? Was it just like schools or what, or just word of mouth?
I don't actually know.
It's really in around school.
Word of mouth, yeah.
Yeah, and then so you had 40, 50 people turned up. You probably went, this is big time. And had you hadn't done any coaching or training at this time. And them days, I suppose you didn't.
Well, we had.
Did you have to
you
go
were
through all the badges?
No, you were actually trained to do coaching courses.
Yeah.
No, we were done coaching
and
courses.
How did that go for you? Was it good, or did you learn anything? Or did you
courses?
learn how?
It was.
Did you learn how to toughen your teams up and all? No. And so, what did the consist of coaching back in them days? Was it all about just drills and
drills and
yeah. And so, coming to the under-14s, can you just take us back then to the first team? And where did you train with that first team, and who picked? Did you say John McEldowney?
Yeah, John
was
me,
once chairman of Ballinascreen. Now,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. John came in, and it started 1999, sorry, and then in 2001 and 2002 we won 3 in a row championships.
Wow.
So
is that one of the teams there just popping up?
That's one of the teams.
I'm back in order. Back in order. Back in order, guys.
Yeah, that's one of the teams.
Yeah, and do you want to mention any of that? I know we mentioned John there. Who's over to the left?
That's myself.
Yourself as a coach.
We were
extraordinaire?
actually, me and John trained them for years. It was just really the two of us. We split them in half. Where the 3 Gs at now used to be a pitch as well. So split them in half. Anybody give me bother, I sent them to John.
Anybody give him bar, he sent them to you.
By the time they got down there, they didn't go back.
So do you want to mention some of these people? Because see now they'll be growing up, they'll be young adults, obviously.
I know of Mary is actually still playing. What'd they be? Well, Tasha in the second row, second in, she actually helped with under 14s. That's John McEldowney's daughter.
There you go.
So she actually helped to coach a stage. Good few of those went on. Like Ashley was saying, that they were all under 16. A lot of them was in that original team. What's the 50 kids we had? We actually went to a blitz in Ballinacreen, and I think we had 5 teams that day going. I think we were first, second, third, fifth, and sixth or something like that. There.
And did you see back in them days? Was there many other clubs like maybe you the early stages of the underage sort of team?
No, I think there would have been a good few clubs.
By the stage, we were up and going. There was by 2000. There was a lot.
But look, it's an amazing 4 in a row. As some
3 in a row. 3 in a row.
But it's great accolade for yourselves, for you and John, and to be when you put in the effort and. You've got a team that go out there and won, never mind once the championships are the one, as you know, and to won 2 and then won 3. What kind of, what were you saying to them at half time? Tell the world out there the secret ingredient at half time.
The first one, half time,
Did you hit the table?
Tying every lace and them all crying because we're 10 points down. And actually somebody left the match and went and said, we're a disgrace. And somebody in the club says, the whistle hasn't blew yet and we come back and won.
And that was a combined team just to add of Craigban and Derry Colmkill. And Derry Colmkill underage was going really strong. Yeah. Like I know we had played them in senior finals and stuff. So to beat a combined team in your first, because they had people from Craigban and Derry Colmkill.
2 clubs getting together.
It was called Derry Ban, I think.
There you go. And the screen took them on.
Screen took them on second half and we came home and won.
And you just went out there and says, we can do this.
Yeah.
And who was the hero of the day? Was there any heroes of the day, or did...
they're, I don't know. They all played the part.
That's good. That's good. And did we beat the horn on the way back in the town? No,
will be a bus maybe.
Yeah. And so then there was a Feile in the town, an underage Feile.
Underage Feile was
2010.
2010 was Derry finally got the Feile this direction.
Ballinascreen put up the London team. Is that right?
No, that was later on. That was later on.
Sorry. No, who did you host in the Feile, or what did you travel to the Feile? Was it?
It was held in Owenbeg and Celtic Park that year, and actually the photo.
We made a banner for it.
The banner,
we're
going to show the banner later on. It's downstairs, isn't it? It's like a big.
There's actually a photo with the girls.
The girls are going to come up with it later on, and we'll get it up. And how did that go then? For all of a sudden. You started the trailblazing of ladies GAA, I suppose, in Ballinascreen, and then all of a sudden young people were growing up probably thinking this was here all the time, the underage football, and then you're going to your Feile and all. And who else? Was there loads at the Feile, or was it, was it a good experience?
By 2010 it was
unbelievable.
The
parade through there was unreal.
Yeah. It was massive.
Like I'd never been at Feile's because I wasn't into underage camogie or stuff. There's always more. Camogie was down south, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to explain just for people listening out what a Feile actually is and how it comes about?
Yeah. So the Feile Pale and Feile Nog. So I suppose it was really a festival, and you had to win your county to get through and represent then your county and wherever was hosting it that year. So usually it would have been a Friday, there would have been a big parade, you had a match, and then the match Saturdays all day and then Sunday. So really it was like a blitz thing. But as I say, Derry hosted it, so at that stage it was anybody that it was a great opportunity because we got to host people in your house, because it was like the Gaeltacht kind of thing. You got to stay in somebody's house.
Yeah.
So to be fair, Camogie and hurling had been doing it. I know Daddy had been to I don't know how many Feiles, because they had always won hurling Feiles and got down south. You did big fundraising. But yeah, so as I say, and that was in 2010. Lauren McKenna was under 12 in the first Feile. It was Derry, but we had won Derry Feile and got in 2017 we had Feile in Enniskillen, and we were hosted by Enniskillen. So the girls were put up in family homes, and myself and Leona was put up by the chair of Enniskillen Club. We were in Enniskillen, and it was brilliant because the girls made great friends. And then we
friends for life,
and the families put them up, and then say you give a wee gift when you're leaving on the Sunday, and they give a gift back. But we ended up that year getting beat by San Francisco in the final, actually, in that 2017. So it was an unbelievable
experience. The Yanks
experience.
come over.
Yes.
They conquered, didn't they?
Yeah, they were big girls. And do you know what? We got to play in Bristol
With
Park.
overage? He's telling me overage.
But
hey,
they
don't
were big
say
girls.
that about me. Yeah,
But
I'm only 22, but I'm going to play under 14.
They were big girls.
They're
And to
big
be
girls, I
fair,
understand
we
that.
lost one of our best players, Orla O'Neill, had
That's
really
right,
badly hurt her ankle. And she had to go away in the ambulance. Leona had went with her in the ambulance. And sometimes when Leona's not beside me, keeping me calm on the sideline, we can fall apart. But to say she went, Orla had really, really badly, and she was our unbelievable full back. So we lost her and we lost that final. But to be fair, we had some support came up till that whole weekend.
That's
and
brilliant.
like even girls like Leah McBride and Chloe McGuigan and Sarah Kelly and all, they had played previous years, never had the opportunity. They were up there supporting the girls. It just was brilliant.
Yeah, that's just what we talked about there, the opportunity that you created that wasn't there before. And I suppose for people out there, yet again, you explained the Feile well, and I understand it, and it's something I suppose I should say about the GAA and the clubs and all the championships, that when you go on these trips, it's a local family putting you up, isn't it? And like they're keeping you for whatever it is, the weekend, and like have been trips from the screen in the county, and you just land in the house, they feed you, they look after you. It's like you're like one of their own, and you become one of their own for that amount of days. I don't think there's any other sport, do you, that can happen at, or maybe I'm wrong, that you land in a place, and like you could land in Australia and be in a team and somebody will find you somewhere to stay, or you can land in America. You talk there, they would put you up if you landed there.
No, it is actually really, really great the way that, like, even then we got back to the Feile in 2019 and we were held down in Connacht. And as I say, the girls won the All-Ireland Feile that year. And it's just, and do you know what? The Camogie, that same group of girls.
There was medals there, isn't there? I wonder, is there a medal for that actual All-Ireland?
Yeah, the All-Ireland Feile medal is there in the box. Do you want
to show it to the world there? I can show it too.
Yeah, that there's just the All-Ireland Feile medal. There's grand.
You see it? Let me see it there. It's a holy grail there.
As I say, no, it was great then to, as I say,
there it is.
And that group of girls, as I say, had won 4 championships in a row.
It's class, I think medals are class, right? And I know some people say the medals, just throw them away, but there's something, at the end of the day, it's an All-Ireland medal. It proves that you've beat the best in Ireland. You know what I mean? And I think congratulations to you on that behalf.
The fact that we got beat in an All-Ireland final 2 years previous, but that group of girls, 17, 18, 19 and 20, them girls had won 4 championships in a row. And as I say, there's Leanne McCullough and Natalie McKenna were 2 girls that were in every one of them teams. So they've now got an All-Ireland medal and 4 championship medals. And there's the 4 in a row there.
There's the 4
17, 18, 19 and 20.
Were they too young for the Bacardi Breezers, weren't they? Did you have a few Bacardi Breezers?
Oh, not when you were in duty. I wasn't there that time. No, because
you put her to the wall.
To be fair, when we were down in Connacht, I remember on the Saturday night the club had put on a disco for the girls, and Cathal O'Connor that helped myself and Leona, coach, and Johnny Kelly, he was like, we may go up and see how they're behaving at this disco. I was kind of a bit worried, saying, should we be going up here? We might want to see, because the boys was there and the girls. But no, the girls they do be well behaved.
Was there a lot of local boys looking to find a South Derry girlfriend?
Well, we were a quick look in and out just in case, but no, they were really well behaved.
Brilliant.
In regards,
you didn't have to do the old torch at the side of the hall. There used to be a priest down there, as Martin do that, I'll not say his name. We had the discos, you know. So that was going on. So that there, so we're coming on, I suppose later on, and everything's moving along. We know that the club has embraced ladies football at this stage. Yep. We're aware that you've started the underage, and so I suppose for them, for now, for like the coaches that are taking, because you two guys have put on a long stretch, you know what I mean?
Like 14 years now, like.
14 years, you know.
You're still.
And Ashlene, you've been involved in the GAA from probably, as you say, the Hillman 100 days.
Well, probably from the football started, I've been involved in the coaching end of it as well. Like, because I remember many a Tuesday night up taking the underage and rushing over to Bay again to county training, no dinner or nothing. Again, where was the diet then? But I'd say, no, to be fair, there's been a lot of people in the club that have really helped drive our ladies football. Like, you know, as I say, Laura Kelly.
Different chairman too, with chair ladies over the time.
Yeah, well, I suppose Jock and John McEldowney have been chairman of Derry Ladies, but they still, to be fair to the
Jock
two
Groogan,
men.
That's Jock Groogan.
Yeah.
Jock is an uncle of yourselves. So showing that your father's family and all them, they're big GAA men and ladies, and always have been.
Well, to be fair to Jock and Jock and John, you know, they've been involved in they both were chairmen of the county board, but they did put their shoulder and take underage. You know, there was, you know, when we had nobody to take underage, you had Laura Kelly, who hasn't even got a girl, who coached underage a long time. And then, as I say, Kevin O'Neill had come in. I know in your time, Eileen, you know, the help that but Laura Kelly had come on board with no girls. And then, as I say, that's where Kevin O'Neill was helping myself and Cahill. You had Johnny, you know, a lot of good people then had come in, Johnny Kelly, you know, and then even in the senior setup, like, we had a lot of good people that, just as I say, James O'Kane had no girls playing, came on. He was a senior footballer, taking us in 2008. Then you had Mickey McAllister came on board to take us, Shimmy Donnelly. Like, we've had good people involved in taking us.
Yeah, and that's, I suppose, over the years, more people have been aware. And as you say, fair play to those individuals that had no children. They just, the love of it to help people, that's credit to them. And I suppose for all them different managers and that has come over the years, they've probably brought different things. Like, because when we were chatting at a wee gathering before this, Cahill was there with your good self, and like, it was just amazing the amount of things you were talking about, and teams and winning, and to be honest, putting it up against maybe some of the past and hurling and Gaelic, you have won a lot of championships. I'm not saying that hasn't happened underage in hurling and football. It has, but at senior level, it's
as I say, it's getting them through. Like, as I say, we were struggling at underage. Eileen, as I say, said about us starting in 2000 with underage, and then when numbers started to dwindle, I remember myself and Michaela McBride, she was secretary at the time, saying, you know, what are we going to do here? Because their numbers were, and like at that time I was taking 6 seats, all age groups. Was a pulled Blaheen, and we had a wee blitz in Cookstown, and we had 8 and getting 8 and she was a bit young playing, but no bother tell her she played, but because we were like, what are we going to do to improve this? So Sheena Kelly was over Ulster Ladies at the time, and she said, would you ever apply for the Gaelic for Girls programme? So myself and Michaela done the application, and we applied, and to be fair to Michaela, there was some amount of admin in it, because you know, we ended up having 93 wee girls signed up, which was one of the biggest in Ireland. We made it in one of the local Gaelic magazines, or Croke Parks, and then
I don't know why they're pulling up a picture of three parish priests there. What's that about? Nathan. Whoa!
Yeah, so that's, and you can see, you know, large. We had 2 teams on that. That's where two teams then entered.
The Holy Grail, which is Croke Park.
So really, myself and Michaela then did
Joe at the back.
Posters. Yeah, we
That's
did
my
posters.
daughter at the back.
Where's Chris?
The middle daughter at the back, the tall one.
Yeah, there you go.
No, the other side.
Gerald Junior over there smiling at you.
That's her.
Blaheen's at the
Blaheen,
front.
where's Blaheen?
Yeah,
Blaheen's
at the front. There, I think. There beside the sign, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go, Blaheen.
Yeah.
There you are. Your moment. Oh my God! Why did you do that on me? She says.
Now, to be fair, we had did, and that's Cassie Kelly holding the sign, Leanne McCullum behind her.
Cassie, that's Olivine and Johnny.
Yeah. To be fair, that programme did a lot of admin. As I say, Michaela had put up posters around. We put them into the schools, so you had to. So they got a wee jersey, and then the opportunity to play in Croke Park, and say it was brilliant. Joanne McBride gave us a hand on the day, her and Karen Harkin that day, so because we had two teams, and it was a brilliant opportunity.
Had you a doctor and all on board? Did you say?
No. So to be fair, to give them the opportunity, and that really helped their numbers. And from that there, like the girls have won championship out of that. As I mentioned, Leanne and Natalie was in that group, and they won 4 championships in a row. You've got Anna McDade, Amy Rose Mulligan. They're all now playing seniors, the amount of wee girls. So when you're getting girls from 8 to 12 Gaelic for girls now playing at seniors, that's really what underage is about. I know it's about the success, but if they're not playing senior, you're not getting the success.
Yeah, and is that something that you mentioned earlier on, just before that brilliant programme that said you joined with a lot of paperwork and all of a sudden you had loads of new people. I suppose I wanted to bring up there, do you know the way, I'm sure you've noticed it in the parish, Ballinascreen and Draperstown, it's getting bigger and there's more people. Do you think there was maybe a time just, when there wasn't enough, new children and such, as that's all right to say in the area?
I think it was just, we just needed a wee
refresh
advertisement of it, or a wee drive, because you get comfortable, and then I suppose if girls fall away, and I know in my time, like if Daddy knew it was on, you were taken. Like I laugh, I always tell the story that I played a Derry Minor Camogie game in Castle Dawson, and I was taken in the car and drove to Newcastle and down to play a junior county final for Derry ladies. Like, Dan knew it was on, you were in the car and you were taken.
It's
and
hardcore.
It didn't matter the miles. So I think sometimes just to remind people, a bit of refresher to...
And don't stand back. Suppose what you're saying there is, no matter how successful a club or any entity, don't stand back in your arms and think everybody knows about you. You have to take the attitude that there's always people that don't know, and there's maybe people in the town now who watch this and they maybe don't know, and now they will know, you know what I mean? And so going from that there, it was introduced in locally mothers and others. Yes. And so...
Well, actually, that happened due to the Feile in Enniskillen.
2017.
Yeah, 2017.
So we want to explain a bit about that.
My daughter was up at that, and we parents stand on the sideline, and all these mothers had played before Jackie Mulligan.
We had shouting
and all. And
I don't want to say we were cursing. I hope we...
No, we were very well behaved. And we chatting.
Yeah.
And I'd love to play again. A lot of them had played in the original senior team, or Jackie played in Australia, didn't she? And talking. But I was involved with steps with a netball. And I had said to Ashley that same day, I says, Ashley, can we throw a wee team together, the same as we do with a netball, get together, a few girls, have a kick about thing. And then Ashley informed me there was actually a thing. Mothers and others, and there's blitzes and everything.
There you go.
So that's how that started.
So mothers and others, I suppose for those that wouldn't know, is that separate? Is that separate from the senior team?
Yep.
And so what is that sort of is that just like people just sort of, I always want, like the lady we talked about earlier on, the granny, always wanting to be involved but didn't know how, or didn't know if you're fit to get involved, or didn't know it was for you and all. So explain a wee bit about what's that about, because I suppose it may not be as competitive, is that right to say?
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's not supposed to be, but once you get on the field, it usually, you put everything into it. Even the ones that's never played.
If I was a female marking any of you two, I might be a bit worried, do you know what I mean?
No. Mothers and Others is anybody over 25 can join. There is girls that has played. We have had original 5 girls to start off.
Who were they? Can you remember them people that first started
myself, my sister Rosie, Christine Kelly, Siobhan Rowe. I'll put Siobhan Rowe the best way. And Anne-Marie O'Kane. I think that's the 5. 5 or 6 started off, and they have stayed.
The veterans.
Yes, but there's always been a changed over, and girls that had families, maybe played football, stopped, had families, carried on, and never go back. By the time they were getting back, too old for seniors.
Yeah.
And girls that had never ever played sport in their lives, got them talked in. There's a few girls now, taking them a couple of years to get them talked in, but they've come and turned around and says, I should have been here long ago.
So I suppose that brings up that what I was sort of the point I was thinking about, that when we done them interviews, you picked that up, that people, maybe some people were like yourself actually confident enough to say we wanted to get involved and all this here, and there's other ones that they were, I suppose I want to bring it up, they were talking things like, it's good for my mental health, Paddy.
Yeah,
and
that's the
it's
whole
good
idea.
for my
Mothers
well-being.
and others were really invented for mental health reasons.
Yeah.
To get women out, some older that need to share the head, get out for an hour, and
because there's no easy feat being a mother, right? Or running a house.
And having children, a lot of mothers have give up their lives to careers or houses or look after it. Some of them haven't had weans that's playing or married or anything. Yeah. But maybe your career has stopped them, or they've never got into it, and now they're going, and it's just 1 hour. Share the head. Yeah.
Do you want to tell people out there when that's on, that if they wanted to get involved?
At the minute, it's 8 to 9 in the 3G back row. Yeah. All weathers, all temperatures. It could be 2 or 3 degrees.
And do you mean all temperatures?
There's a pile of layers goes on, going out, and then this like a banana they peel off.
Paddy comes on at the start, right? Jeez, he's put on a bit of weight, that lad. And then the time you go, look at that lean mean machine there. So you just sort of, you get warm as you go along. Yeah. And I suppose for mothers and others, it's not about sit-ups and press-ups and all that.
No, it's not that.
Do you do a wee jog?
We do all the training. We do the proper training and drills and stuff like that there. It's the fun they're having and don't realise that they're actually running. A lot of them have, I'm not fit, I couldn't play it. I haven't done anything in years. But you don't have to be.
And do you want to name some of them people out there that would took part now? Because I know we were there. And
Ashlene's out at the minute.
Ashley, you're back. So you went through the ranks.
No,
you're like a seasoned veteran.
I actually came out last year, and do you know what? I have a 3-year-old now, which God love her. When I was coaching last year, she was dragged along me out coaching, but the thing I love about it, I'm fit to bring her over there at St. Columns in the good weather, obviously. And there's the sand pit, and she loves it. Am I going to football training? And
no
you can take her.
Required.
Has to be long jump sand pit.
So she just, I know we shouldn't really dig it up, but she
these
no, we're not digging it up. It's there for that reason. You know, it's not exactly a long jump pit. You know, it's just a clump of sand. Like,
but another thing, it's not. You are not committed to be there every single week.
All right.
We have nurses.
Shift workers.
If they're free that night and they want to come, they come. Nobody's going to tick them off in a book and say, you haven't
There's
been
no
here.
favoritism.
You're not going to start or drop now.
It sounds like it's a more relaxed place to be than, I suppose, maybe if you're...
There's not as many pressures as seniors.
It is getting bigger. There's more and more clubs starting. Like, you know, as say we were last year in 2 blitzes in Tyrone, and it was just... brilliant. They do a wee dance and the warm-ups. They had somebody there doing like aerobics thing, a bit of crack, and they left
120 teams
120 in Ulster.
And what was the wee dance? Can you remember the wee dance?
I'll not be showing you.
I was thinking it was one of them.
Do you know what I was more excited about?
It was one of them ones.
When we went into the changing room, we went up to we went up till a Tyrone club. They had champagne in the wee basket and the crisps and so St. McCartan ladies had one for us. It was brilliant, and the food spread after. But the most exciting thing was the prosecco.
Yes, we've Ulster blitzes, and we get it down the don't get now because there's that many teams. They always had one in Dublin.
Wow!
Did and all the team, we were there 2 years.
That's where that.
There it is.
We were there 2 years.
Thank you for thank you for putting me in there, Ashley. Thank you very much.
We were there 2 years. Brilliant day. You go down and they split you up into groups, and Class day. But
And
the thing is,
who's your man?
that is
Chris
Hickson.
Chris
Hickson and Kieran Quinn. Kieran and Marguerite, who's actually playing them, tennis as well. And
Brilliant.
the last couple of years,
Chris was your chairman one time, is that right?
Yeah. And we actually won Ulster Club of the Year that year. I think it was 2017.
Mickey Neely tennis at the start and Chris. And then Kieran came to help. He came along with Marguerite, and then him and Marguerite for a few years. And then over the winter, I keep it going. I actually
Brilliant.
coach them over the winter. I let the coaches go on, and then we get... So the changeover, and we had Michael and Ronan Devlin for 2 years there. And at the minute, we are looking at coach.
Right.
Because I want to get playing again.
I love it. So I love it when I get people on and they need an ad, right?
Yes.
Right. We're going to have an ad here, right? So you can look into that camera there, the two ends. And so if you're... So for people out there that listen to the podcast so far, you're a really successful club, right?
Yeah.
And you've had really committed people. And at the minute, there's an opening.
Yes. There's
So
an opening.
tell the world.
Though there is a lot of people think Mothers and Others is a bit of a joke. I don't actually realise
You need managed.
Need managed, and it is proper drills and proper games and stuff. It's not that you have to be committed as Mothers and Others, but no, it's nobody's saying it's not as strict as senior.
And I think, personally speaking, as someone that knows really nothing about the whole structure, that any sport that you can go through and that even when you get to a certain age you can still be involved in, I think it's amazing. And I think it should be, never mind people laughing at it, they should be maybe encouraging or take part themselves, because it's easy to throw.
It is. It is the mental health bit. It is getting out there. There actually is girls at the minute who have married. A few girls come from Des Martin, but they originally were from Kildress or different areas.
Yeah.
Came into Des Martin, knew nobody in Des Martin. Julie Kelly plays from Des Martin, and she got talking to them, and she's telling them now. And for them to say now that they know this bunch of girls, that they knew nobody. They married into new parish, and
and that can be done.
That's the good thing about it too, that you're meeting new girls, and
and I think the sport and all sport is brilliant for that there, to be part of it. And even people, like as you say, you're training the people in the winter, even people walking together and getting out and mixing together. Because I know I was chatting to we're going doing a podcast with the DC Diamond ladies, and they were talking about that, and like Yuns was saying about having a drink together and having the crack, and it's more than football. And I think that so we're making a call out for a new manager. Do you think there's people out there maybe would be interested in managing? Only they haven't been asked.
I need back playing.
So who are we going to shout out for that we think should manage?
Whoever wants to come. We're not a scary bunch now.
No, what I would say probably on behalf of that there is maybe there's someone out there that has played before and that maybe has a bit of time now, because obviously Mothers and Others, we are aware that some people could have a young family. You mentioned taking their child. So some people could have a young family. There's room for people that have played before, that maybe families growing up now. Is that all right? They may think they're out of the loop.
Nope.
And
there's also girls that have no children just because it's Gaelic for Mothers and Others. It's just girls that have just stopped playing. Like certain girls that should still be playing senior, but they just decided to retire early. So rather than do nothing, they're out playing for the crack.
So then people might be out there, and I'm sure that if they're not aware, they'll be aware now. So we'll not call out any names, but there is somebody out there that, and also too, I should say, there's no brown envelopes. No, I don't know.
Maybe not drink, but no brown envelopes.
You'll get a lot of Prosecco, or what do you call that? Prosecco, or how do you pronounce it? You think I had a few there? That's just a dyslexic thing, right? So there we are with Mothers and Others, which is brilliant, and we've got through for an underage, and so we're moving up, I suppose, till for people that are looking in, and to sell what we're doing, to the you talked about mental health, you talked about friendships, you talked about having a wee drink, and I think a big one there I wanted to pick up on there is when you do move into a new parish, it can be daunting, and like anything else, when two people fall in love or they marry or whatever, one of them is going to win the victory of where they move. Isn't that right? Like your brother Patrick was telling me he used to live in Tallow. Was that in Waterford? And he moved.
He was in Cushendall.
Cushendall, sorry. Cushendall. I don't know why I said Tallow.
Yeah, he was living in Cushendall, and he's moved back now to settle in Ballinascreen.
So there's an example, of someone, and his wife, was she originally from?
Yeah, she's originally Cushendall.
Yeah. So there's an example. There's two people just come in my head there. And for people out there, maybe people that have moved on, because look at the amount of new houses.
Don't worry about being on to Claire, looking her to come out. So when you're watching this, Claire, you can come out.
Claire, I know you're from the Glens, and I know you could probably clash the Ash, can't you? You probably can. Yeah, because it's in the blood in the Glens. So Claire, is she the new manager? No. No. So we'll move on, as I say. You brought us up there, and I suppose for yourself, Ashlene, you mentioned earlier on about playing on the county team, and I suppose for your journey there, because as Eileen said, she started later. So how was your sort of introduction to the county team? And can you take us through? And I know that there's a lot you can say here, but if you kind of take us from like a timeline of
I suppose I started playing in the first senior ladies team. There was no underage for me, and then they did a call out for the county team, and it was Caroline McWilliams, myself and Nuala McKenna had went over. And to be fair, remember the time there was no such thing as getting the county grounds. We were actually training
down the back.
We were training over in Frank Taylor's garden in the side of his house, and believe it or not, there was a man took us, Gregory McGonigal, that is now taking our Mal lady. So Gregory's career, he actually took Dublin ladies till All Ireland and won All Ireland.
Was that name a Dungiven name?
Yeah, Gregory was a Dungiven man.
Was he anything to Jeffrey?
I think they were far out cousins, Gregory and Frank Taylor would have took us in the early days. Again, it was hard for me because I didn't drive. As I say,
did Dad take you?
Daddy would have took me. To be fair, Caroline would have trumped me and Nuala around, and then as the time went on, like I did play the county.
Was that Nuala
McKenna? Nuala, she's married to McAleen now.
Deadly, right.
So myself and Nuala and Caroline, and then there was different ones that came on to play in the county, but in the early days it was myself and Nuala, as I say. And then I remember us in an Ulster B final, and it was down in Newcastle in County Down. I'll never forget our marking a girl, Eileen Downey, or she was Michaela Downey, sorry, who's now playing. I'm not sure if you're aware, there's the Ireland team now. There's our Ireland team now going to be playing in March, and she's one of the select, and that she was a legend of a player.
Wow.
Now, I was tiny compared to her, but as I say,
you gave her the best of it, didn't you?
Well, I was very small compared to her, but
small and nifty.
So in later lives then, or later county, I did win a couple of junior Ulsters with Derry. But
did we have medals or anything around there?
No, probably have no Derry medals there now.
Yeah.
But as I say, no, I enjoyed playing Derry, just unlucky that I never got my opportunity in Croke Park. That's why when I got them young girls to Croke Park, I'm very jealous. I never had the opportunity to play in Croke Park.
I suppose that there, what you're talking about there, that goes into, I suppose, like you said, Eileen, earlier on, you should have been involved earlier, and you're saying, that it hurts you not to be there as such. So where did you play, in the county matches you were saying there? And did you wear the same, was it the Derry rig, the same as before?
I remember our first jerseys was from Miller Toys, and Dungiven sponsored us. But then, and we never had the same sponsors as the boys now at the time, but to say, we then later, I suppose, would have got into Owen Big whenever, because I played up until probably 2017, I think I quit county. So I would have played.
Were you allowed to keep the tops or anything?
No, there was no such thing as swapping your jerseys. Now we probably had the same rig.
I was talking to Nathan about that earlier on, about I was in a situation one day where a guy kept a pair of socks back. It was nearly a war. There was no duplicates then,
No. So to be honest, I was captain of the county one year, and I remember we were going to play New York in an All-Ireland semi-final, and it was myself actually had had went and got the shorts and socks sponsored, and it got local people to sponsor whatever money to buy the socks and shorts. To be fair, the county ladies team, it's changed now because you've got the Women's Player Association, and you know they're getting there with the boys. So
and there's a kit now you wear for the county, yeah.
Yeah, but not sure if they would get to keep their jersey. But yeah, the ladies are much better looked after in the county now than they would have been, and they are shared facilities with the boys. And now we did get into Owenbeg as my later life in our
for
later
people
time.
out there. Just Owenbeg is the main dairy excellence centre and the county home ground, isn't that right? Yeah. So for you then, you were in the county, and I suppose for people to know, you represented Ulster, and then you represented Ireland, and that's something that's completely different from. So you didn't get to Crook Park, but you could pretty much around the world.
Yeah, well, I suppose in 2010 we were doing well for the club, and there was trials being held for the Ireland team, and say from here was myself, Nola O'Hagan and Emma Kelly, and I remember we were at a bonding day for the club up outside Armagh, and I said to Damien Nelly, Jesus, there's trial today for Ireland. He said, what the hell are you doing here? So I rang Da, and I said, it was outside Armagh, it was between Armagh and Uri, and to be fair, Damien took me to Dungannon, we met Daddy, we went down, there was a trial game against Dublin, and trials from that, then we were selected to go to the Euro Cup that was in Milan. And
we have the cup. We have a cup here.
Yeah, the trophy.
Is that the trophy there? Would you like to lift it up there? It's a pretty big one there.
Emma Kelly was captain, but as I say, this was
throw it above your head. Throw it above your head there, like a captain. Throw it. Let's hear it back. Whoa! Come on there, try it.
That was the rarest. It was quite expensive actually to get that home, but as I say, myself and Nuala had stayed in London. We were flying home.
That's Nuala
O'Hagan, she's from Swatter, but she was playing for Glen.
Right.
So Glen was playing in the intermediate Ulster, and we were in junior Ulster at the time. And I remember thinking, Jesus, I can't get injured. And that was later on in 2011.
Yeah.
So I got best on ground in Italy. So flew home anyway, played the first Ulster club game. Friggin' dislocated my jaw after playing the roughest game in Italy, not an injury kind. Had to go to Galvin Monday morning, get the jaw put back into place.
Who done that? Who done it? Do you remember who?
Oh, it was against Tempo, as I say. But then, so that was the year, then we ended up getting to an Ulster Club final. And then in 2011, the opportunity came up. The International Cup was in Australia. So again, myself, Emma and Nuala was selected in that panel. And we got to Australia for 3.5 weeks to play. And yeah, actually the three of us then got selected on the world team, and this was instead of a trophy, we had got
look at that there,
this jersey that has the world on it.
It's a real cool look. So you look at them jerseys. So obviously, just for people out there listening, asking, that's so you went out there as the ladies Gaelic football team, but obviously you were playing was it under the Australian rules, or did you do half and half?
No, it was an AFL team, so you're playing Australian rules, so that was the skills.
Pretty tough. Yeah, to come back from there and then go to Petticoat or whatever and get a broken jaw is a bit of a joke, isn't it?
As I say, going to Italy playing rough, because how they tackle was just grab from the race. It was kind of between rugby and Gaelic. I suppose our kicking was good.
Eileen, you're cooking up there. You'd have loved that. I think you would have loved that.
As I say, then the three of us, as I say, got selected in the world team. But what I would say to young girls now is time is so different now. Playing Gaelic can open so much doors, because you've Amy Mack and Blaine Mack, and they're all out playing in Australia now.
So who are they then?
They're from Armagh. They're two Armagh ladies footballers.
Armagh ladies footballers.
Really good kind. Amy Mackin is unbelievable.
And so for like, I suppose I'm hearing there that, because I'm aware of this, and I read recently about, I don't have to name who they are, but the importance of kickers out there, that you're aware that there's certain GAA players that are really, really good at that.
Well, they're getting out to America, so they say.
So, and it's showing, but that's the GAA too. That's being in the GAA that's took them to
because there's a down player, Anne Rory Began from Monaghan, that are that are getting out now to go to America.
And
but
do you want to tell the people that's a GAA sort of trial thing, isn't it? Is it an exchange sort of thing, or have they been poached?
They've been poached.
Yeah.
They've come over and kickers because, and as I say, them two boys were selected. But in regards to this, it was kind of an open invitation to come to trials. Now, if you have a Gaelic background, it was brilliant. But as I say, the doors is open so much now. They are actually going down. If you play for the county, they're watching you. So, like, Cora Staunton is one of the Mayo best ever players in history. She's now commentating on our TV for 4 matches, but she spent her time out there in Australia. They came, got her, so they were doing it for the job.
Was that the lady that there was, I think, an RTE programme on, or was there another?
There probably was one on Cora Staunton. I can't recall seeing it.
I'm picking up what you're saying there, I suppose, for people out there, and I suppose it's really important to say for yourselves too, that so someone that's young and they keep playing, they have opportunities now that there maybe are scouts looking in and going, you know, like, that's a pretty good kicker, that's a good fielder, and different things. I think you could have worked well at the. Do you think you would have worked well? I think you would have, because you would have got that Aussie thing. No, but that's exactly the point. You would have probably loved to be at that, because what you're saying there is, it's an actual career, isn't it? And it's
but it's came a long way, as I say, from where we first started to, like, as I say, that was 2011, that opportunity came up. And, you know, prior to that, I would have been like, I've got county and I've got club, I can't. And as I say, I remember having that conversation with Damien, Nelly and him, because I had the Ulster club come up, and it was the same weekend, but me and Nuala took the thing, frigate, we'll go. We flew back into London and we both made it home in time for club, you know. So,
and did you have a good time out there?
Milan was a very different experience now, but the best experience when we got to Australia, because we were in Sydney and Melbourne, and it was just unbelievable.
And was that sort of like going back to the history and heritage of the GAA, were you put up by a family, or was it hotel jobby?
Yeah, it was put up, to be fair.
Because you're representing Ireland.
Well, we were in a hostel the first night, but the hostel was fancy, and you had a hot tub, and then there was a house, and they were fancy where we stayed, but I suppose we were out along with the boys team, so recovery sessions and all was done on the beach, and it was a bit professional. Like, to be fair, our ice bath was just a blue bin with ice in it. But
they were doing ice baths back then. See, ice baths are cool over here now.
But it was in a wheelie bin. It wasn't really. But to be fair, the professional setup of it was brilliant. As I say, we were in Sydney Swans.
A massive
team. We
did
did half time in their stadium, and Chrissy McCaig was actually playing for them at the time, and like we were all like, oh, Chrissy, get a photo. He's probably thinking, who are we? But you know, the crowd in the stadium,
you'd be seeing him regularly now.
He's probably sick of seeing him. It's like, there's the crowd, like, you know, and people were coming looking at our autographs, and like, wow, you know, we were something. But then I came home, nobody even knew I was there. But what I would say,
you can't be a star in your own town, all right? Or your own county.
But it was an unbelievable experience, like, it really was.
And like, I suppose for something like that there for you, from you first started, you know, to represent your country, it's a massive thing.
Well, there's Emma Kelly from Des Martin at the front beside the flag, and then beside me in the middle is Nuala O'Hagan, then from right beside me there in the middle, and then Ciara McGurk from Steelstown's behind me. Look, we've stayed good friends. All them girls is a good group of girls. Like, we've really, like
Nuala's, I don't know if you're aware, but Nuala's brother Fimber is our samba leader, and he does all the drums on here. And
Nuala was a good player now, as I say.
And Fimber he loves the Gael and all that there. Well, see the likes of for yourself then. I suppose what we're saying to people out there is a pathway now, like, you know, that people can and aspire to be, and don't be scared to be picked up and have to be carried across, you know. And I'm just a bit annoyed that you didn't bring your dad with you, because he brought you everywhere else. We could have done a wee fundraiser for that there, you know.
No, to be fair, like, I wouldn't have got where I was, but like, I can't leave my ma out, but she didn't drive. But like, you know, when you're not driving, you know, you need your dad, and it's same as all Wayne's now going to matches.
That there in the old days, that, and it's probably still is, that is I think part of the culture of the GAA, that you know, I've never heard anybody say we can't get to a match. Do you know, I've never sat. Well, we used to.
It's easier now because you have the WhatsApp and parents can ask.
Where did you all gather? We used to gather at Davy King's shop.
We were Davy's too.
Like, it's mad, isn't it? The same wee spot, and you're going. I don't know if I can fit into that space or not, but you just got it.
We would have been in Davies, meeting at Davies.
Brilliant. And Davy, well, I'm sure have plenty of stories about all the GAA. But now I want to chat to you, because you both, you mentioned earlier on, actually a wee bit earlier on, about dual players. And, you know, what that takes, you know what I mean, to think of things like now, like commitment, and, you know, if you're in the county team, and I don't want to say this, but are you allowed to play for the club team when you're in the county team, or what way does that work?
It just depends, I suppose, in the management that's taking the county teams. In the past, they wouldn't have cared and they would have let you, but I do think in recent now they are saying, you know, they do ask, can you release your players and not use them during league games and stuff? But I suppose that's...
But do you think that's a good thing or bad? Do you think that's a good thing or bad thing, you know?
Personally, I think it's not a good thing, because I think the more you play together, the better you become and bond as a team.
I agree.
And like if somebody's only going to then come in championship, it's not going to help.
Well, there's an example of that recently. There was a university team playing, and there was certain 3 players, I'll not mention them. Probably the world knows who they were. I think it was 3, wasn't it? And but that manager held by the team that he had, and they won the Secrets and Cup. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So is that what you've just said there? Is kind of, when you play for county, even, you know, I think it takes a good one to go, well, I'm going to play anyway with the club. And I think that bonding with the club is lost. And I personally think you're still training, so I don't know, you know, because at the end of the day, you travelled to in the middle of Europe and got, you know, pulled down and arm wrestled and everything, and then you come over here and you break your jaw. So there's an example. What's the point? You know,
you're
what I mean?
Going to get injured. You're going to get injured. Yeah, if you wrap yourself in cotton wool.
Yeah, and so we have dual players. You've been a dual player. I don't know, Eileen, if you didn't. And I know maybe did any of your sisters or anything?
No, we were like farmers. We never really went to
tough
sport.
as nuts. 4 big boiled spuds, a bit of butter,
an onion,
and blue milk.
Of course.
See, you can't tell them people out there.
No, actually, we had the cow. We had our own milk.
Holy God! I've never heard of that. I'm an attorney. Well, I do know how it comes out. But did you
have a blue bucket, but
did you?
Yeah.
So tell me this. I never actually witnessed this, and I would love to. I'm going to go to your house now.
Not anymore.
So you don't do it anymore. Oh, it's all legal now. The cow just lies there reading Reader's Digest and keep going there. I'm nearly empty, you know. But so when the milk, and I know it's to regard, it's not to do with the podcast. So you get the milk out. Can you drink it straight away? Or, and so there's no. So why do these guys pasture it all and do all this weird stuff now and put it through? You know.
Don't know.
And what you're thinking on red milk, green milk, and then blue
water.
So for people out there, I'm so fit, I like my diet milk. The red one, do we room 101 it?
Water.
Right? And what about the green one?
It has to be blue. That's the most.
Bit like the tractors, isn't it? What is it?
If it's not blue, it'll not do.
Hey! You're not a tractor lover?
No.
You should have been in with the massive Hurricane one red and keep it in the shade, boy. Yeah. I like the red one. So your family, and that's something probably as attorney I know nothing about. So surely that's the best milk ever.
Yes.
And did your family, like, you know, your maybe your granny or your granddad's time, did you make your own butter and all out of it, or
I
what?
think, my granny and them would have.
That's lethal. Did you
we
see?
never really had the butter made, but.
And was there any old, you know, the boxes they made it in your house?
I think there is.
There you go. There you go.
Somewhere.
Did you learn something new there?
Oh.
You were a townie for a wee while. You got that town blood and just give it us out of the bottle. Would you be blue, red, or green?
I'm not a big milk lover.
You should say green there. Be careful. Do you not like milk? No.
I wouldn't take a glass of milk. I wouldn't bar me, and I take a wee cappuccino pouch.
I was going to take out a cappuccino. The guys love the cappuccino there. You know, Al Pacino we call it. You know what I mean? So the dual, I suppose I should bring it up for yourselves, and it's an historic occasion too. If anybody like yourselves, like Ireland and winning championships and all, we have some dual players. Like you mentioned, Lauren McKenna earlier on at under 14s. Like she seemed to have a great career, and she's gone on to. She was part of the All Ireland Camogie winning team, and Anya McAllister.
Rachel
McAllister
and Emer was on that
Emer
thing. Emer did play on one of our championship winners.
There they are there.
Yeah, Mary did play football as well. They have all played football, but say Rachel, Lauren and Anya still playing
They were
senior
all
football.
underage football.
And Mary is the one in the corner? Yeah.
Yeah, Mary
Mary
did
Haggerty.
play. She hadn't played football now in the last couple of years, but the likes of Rachel, Lauren and Anya are still. And Emer, one of the years that we won our championship, she was on the panel as well. She was a really good player, but the three are still, like Lauren in that 2010 Feile that Eileen had over, they played in Derry. Lauren was only under 12 and she's still playing, like,
Wow.
you know, in
Yeah.
2024. Like, well, I'm hoping she's still playing football this year.
Do I want to
I
call
think-
her out there and say you want to be playing football this year, Lauren?
be fair,
And to be fair with you, you need to play this year. Is all we're saying. Eileen, you just take down the mic here and she'll definitely turn up. So they I wanted to bring them up because I wanted to, we talked earlier on there about, you represent the county. That's you. You just, and I'm not saying if that's in Gaelic or ladies football or in Camogie, but so there's dual players there, and they've played club and they're proud because I read in some of the 90 years some of the stories about some of them, and like yourselves, they love the club they're involved in, and they've been involved in it. There you are at 14, and we're not going to whatever age Lauren is now.
I
To
think
one
she's 28 or
28 there.
I don't know about wrong.
As a male, you're never allowed to say the female's age.
thank
So what age did you say? She's
No, I
22. So she's a radiographer. So if any injuries, she can sort it. I'd click back your knee again when it goes out there. So the All Ireland is a special thing, right? And to have players that have won that, and I suppose for Ballinascreen Camogie Club, it's great. It's like. I suppose, you mentioned Tony Scullion you worked with earlier on, like people like that, where people can go, I look up to them people, and they can advise you maybe, like you, international rules, and you, Eileen, starting later for mothers and others and all. So what would you say to people out there, like for the likes of that's playing dual sports, what's your thoughts on it? Because you come from an era, it's like kind of, just play, and don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to hear your views on it now and how.
Well, probably in our time we didn't time manage, and you were out 7 nights. You just did it. Like, and as I say, I would have been coaching on a Tuesday night at the club, rushing to get over to Owenbeg in time for county training. Girls are smarter now; they do manage your time, and you can play both if you manage yourself right. And like, it is
what do you
important.
do when you say manage your time? Is that like, so? I'm just going to put yourself in this situation Monday to Friday. So I go to the Monday training. Do I miss the Wednesday, or is that what you mean
Well,
by time management?
some managers would say that, but I think it depends on the person themselves. Like, I do know Lauren has struggled with sore knees, and I did take the seniors a year, and Lauren had come to me, and you work with Lauren because she's that good, like, so she has to manage her knee. So you work with the players, as I say, don't be put off that, I can't play both. Like, we do have, like, currently Natalie McKenna is on the Derry minor camogie and minor football. And minor football had a match today. Now she's named in the panel, but tomorrow she's playing for the minors in an Ulster Camogie final.
Yeah.
That's just, like, I remember going back, Anya was going to be expected to play for Derry that day, and then we were playing Ballinacreen in the championship that evening, and it just was not going to be possible.
yeah.
So we did get it changed. So Anya did play for Derry on the Saturday and then played for her club on Sunday.
Brilliant.
Some people might be like, I can't play 2 days in a row, but to be fair to Anya, she did it for us, and we had won the championship that year. But as I say, them girls are smart enough to know how to manage their time.
Yeah.
But a lot of girls are playing.
And is that something just like that's part of the whole being involved in the GAA now? That you time
when me and
managing?
Cahill would have took underage there recently, we would have sat down with the Camogie and Jeanette and put on the two calendars that they weren't clashing, because it's hard, if they've got a game Monday, Tuesday, and then you're not getting a chance to train, because you need to train too. Like, I know some people say a match is as good as a training, but we did try to manage that the girls weren't out 7 days. And I do know one year the seniors did try to do half an hour football and half an hour camogie, that they weren't out an extra night. Like, but it's up to the managers, I suppose.
And I suppose you have to, like, for people out there listening, you have to do skill training as well as,
Yeah.
And could I ask, to the ladies, you mentioned that something fitness earlier on, strength and conditioning.
Yeah, it's
so
really.
what does that consist of for people out there?
Well, to be fair, the club now they do it together, and even during COVID, you know, we would have did strength and conditioning
Do you
with
mean
the young
weights,
ones.
or do you need set up? What?
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
they're doing set up. They're in the gym like the lads. I'm sure they're not lifting heavy weights like the lads, but there is a lot in the club that are doing the programs for all the girls and boys.
Brilliant.
So
Who's that? Or
I don't know who's in it now,
Yeah.
but it used to be Johnny. I remember Johnny McKee. I'm not
yeah,
sure the lad.
Johnny was a personal
Yeah,
fitness
Johnny
trainer. Yeah,
was good, and then Aaron Bradley had took the girls for a while, but there's a boy, and now I'm not sure of his name, but the senior girls camogie and football are all in together before then they go out and do their pit sessions, you know,
Brilliant,
so they are
brilliant.
doing their strength and conditioning together, so you've got that
yeah.
joint.
The reason I
in
wanted to mention that, because sometimes, like, you know, you would never want to forget about the ethos of what the game's about, you know, and having the ball and having to
Yeah.
pass and having to tackle and all. Because sometimes it can all be about just running and you know, more running. And just for the ladies' football, I don't know how to put this, but the men's football has changed over the years in how it approaches now, and you know, everybody goes together and it's everybody back together, back and forth. Can you explain the ladies' football? Is it different than that, or
Just
is it
laughing
is
when
it
you
case
say
of,
that.
I don't want to say the word lady to lady rather than man to man, you know, lady to lady.
I'm laughing when you say that, because my sister was at the Derry Monaghan game tonight, and she said some woman shouted, "Does everybody have to touch the ball before you spike and shoot?" So, and like, so it might be.
So have I had the jackpot
No,
there?
it is funny that, you know, they do keep the ball, but it just depends on who's taking girls' teams.
Yeah.
There's no particular
Way of doing it.
yeah.
Have you
every team's
played
different.
matches like where, let's just say you're an opposite team, you just, they call it, you know, man marking, or
No, it's, I suppose there's no particular. You mean if it's all everybody behind the ball
Yeah.
and keep the ball? No, not really. Now, to be fair, last year some people might have said Glenn or Mickey Moore has them got the girls playing. He was taking the girls last year, keeping the ball, but no, I suppose it's just no particular
Manager,
team.
maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what the,
It's a
there's no
manager.
real.
so are we poaching for Mickey Moore to take
The Gaelic from Others and Others. No, he's taking Glenn Lilly's, to be fair. Tell him he's
he
back in
is
his
a,
roots.
a pretty good manager, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and fair play, he's back in taking the
Yeah.
girls, you know.
And his last was Kilcoo, and he won the All-Ireland Club.
Yeah, and to say, no, fair play, he is back in taking the ladies, you know.
So we need an ex-county manager to take over Mothers and Others, Eileen, don't
We
we?
need anybody to be taking over.
Anybody,
with
right?
it.
Don't stare at me too long. I don't know anything about the game. So I wanted to, Ashton, you were chatting earlier on about, you know, Gaelic and Ulster and Ireland. There was a very famous show hit the TV screens called Derry Girls. And I know that when you first came into me, you showed me this picture, and I thought, holy shit. You know, I don't want to say holy shit, but I'll say it now, right? Holy shit. And so for anybody out there, one of the biggest shows, I think, on TV for the last long time. I mean, this is a show up there, I suppose, with Father Ted, and, you know, for people watching it. And so how did it come about that, I suppose, were you contacted by Lisa McKee or the management or the TV company? Or how did it come about that, tell us how you met them and why you were there, just for people. A lot of people might know this actually happened, you know.
Yeah, it happened was Julie O'Neill from Ulster Camogie had said to me one day, "Would you like to be in Derry Girls?" They always make fun about my accent, saying I'm real munchy. So I was like, haha, like thought she was joking. She said, "Oh, I've just give somebody your number." So just God, then not long after that, my phone rang and it was a man, and I did originally think they were taking a hand, but he had asked me, because I had won Coach of the Year for Ulster in 2017, so he had said to me, you know, you've been recommended by Ulster Camogie, would you like to do this? So I said, as long as I don't have to speak. But I went down, it was a school in Belfast, I was given the date to go down in the Monday morning. I was really nervous going down to do it, and as I say, I went down, and at the end of it I did get the photo. I wasn't allowed to put it out to whatever time.
Did they sanction you, did?
They allowed me to take it on my own phone as long as I didn't put it out.
Tell the programme.
The programme was shown, but as I say, I went down and I had to take them. And to be fair, and even though they're Irish, except the lads from England, the English lads, yeah, it's funny. I have them hers and the UC on them, and O'Neill's had sent me a jersey. It's a good keepsake. The girls all with the hurls in front of the jersey. But I went down and to take them in the session. So we were over just the main actors and myself in a wee small tarmac area, and then I thought that was me done, but to be fair, then they took me over where they were recording that session, and I had to stay, and they had me like throwing balls for them to hit and then directing them when they were doing it wrong. And I know people had tweeted out, oh, their hands was in the wrong end, but as I say, it just was the different, yourself editing, I didn't know about, and so Nicola, one of the actors then, had put up thanks uncoordinated student you ever had, but you were so kind and patient with us, so at least somebody liked
So out of them all, who do you think had potential?
Oh God!
Did any of them strike the ball? They slid it right at all?
Do you know what? They weren't bad then when I then was throwing the ball for them to hit, but I just couldn't believe one of the girls was so nervous. Nicholas from Galway, one of them was so nervous, but it was just enjoyable. I got to see them recording. They were all having to shout out something, and I was there for quite a wee length, and it was really, really enjoyable. Like, so. Well,
brilliant! Congratulations on that, there being involved. That's really good, isn't it?
No, it's brilliant.
And I think for people out there that wouldn't know that, and that wee sketch, it was a screen girl behind them.
Yeah.
And for people out there saying, oh, they're holding it in the wrong hand, that's just...
It's just because they did different shots and different things, and then they might have had me throwing the ball, rolling the ball. They had different things, as I say, different ways for me hitting the ball, them striking the ball. So they might have got it right when I thought it was right.
Yeah, and I see there, this is where you were Coach of the Year.
Yeah, in 2017, as I say, to be fair, that was the day after the dinner dance. I was busy talking. I knew the fella from Donegal, his sister played football with me in America, and he was like, your name was called out, and to say Daddy was down to give me a hug. He was as excited.
It was proud.
Yeah, it was at an Ulster club final
so,
in the athletics grounds, and to be honest, it was all men. I never thought by any way I would look, as you see, I'm the only girl. But to be fair, the mothers in Ballinascreen, I coached their wains. There was Teresa McKenna, Jackie Mulligan, Kathy McGuigan, Tracy McCullough. They all really got behind Teresa had did a poster, and they had shared it, and they really did a big drive because it went down to votes, and I was
well, you got it
delighted.
on merit, and to both Ian's, like your story right up to this point, like that's a great accolade that you've come through, and you've lifted that massive award. And like, I suppose I couldn't not mention, we mentioned vaguely Paddy Groogan, your father, a man that's like, it sounds as if he just was like your right arm the whole way. There's Patsy there, that's Danny McCauley, that's from the 90-year book. So that's Patsy on the left, and that's your brother on the right. And in the middle? And
the middle's Daddy's grandson, Cahar Groogan. So to be fair, Daddy and Cahar have continued their volunteering, and they do umpire up and around the country along with Tarla Conway. So it's lovely to see a grandfather and a grandson to be volunteering around the country.
It's
now
brilliant.
doing
It's brilliant. And your father has always been connected to, like the hurling and underage teams he's coached. He's he's probably used more diesel or Darv than most, and I think that's something, I suppose, and the GAA it's not seen, they're the hidden champions. Is that all right to call them that? And like you mentioned hidden champions, and then people that without them, I think you only look back when you're a bit older, and you look back and go, God, them people put a lot of effort in for me.
Yeah,
when
I look back at Daddy and his grandson, they took the under-8 hurlers together. Whoever sees a grandson and a grandfather taking a team together. So Daddy had retired. Oh, I'm not coaching anymore. And next one, Cahar needed a hand.
Retired at 50, young, isn't he?
Well, he went back in to help Cahar. Now Cahar's not coaching this year, but it was a couple of years ago. Both of them was in coaching, so. It was lovely to see the two of them together. But as I say, it's great to see young people volunteering. And I suppose we can go right back to the start. And that's what it takes. It takes committed people to take the teams. It takes, commitment to train the teams. You're going out of your own time. You're possibly leaving your own family, to get involved. And
And to make up what is now where Yuns are at, from starting with Mickey and the T-shirt and the first team and to early sponsors, and you've mentioned them all. I suppose what I want to ask now is for you two, because you put in so many years, committed, and you both sound as if you don't really want to leave the club. In some way, you'll always be.
Yeah.
Is that right? And you'll always be recruiting. You'll be the manager in future, won't you? You're too young yet to retire.
No,
And and we'll put a call out to mothers and everything. So for you two, what you're thinking about, where the club has got to now, and what do you think the future should look like? Because I suppose, like any club, there's longevity, there's heritage, there's history, there's players, there's, kits, there's everything. What would you be thinking in the future, how it should look, and why people should get involved in the...
It's just getting bigger and better.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more understanding of it, I think.
Yeah.
Of everything, and more people out to help, which is great. Years ago, like it was me and John.
Yeah.
At the very start for Underage, now, people are willing to help a lot more.
They're there because...
Parents are helping a lot more.
Yeah.
Years ago, it used to be, I says, babysitting service. They dropped them off and they come back and lifted them again.
Did you feel that in them in the early days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It was
they were
hard to get people
they were left.
involved.
They were left off and they're collected again. No, now parents help out.
That's brilliant. They don't
Because I
leave.
actually have recruited my sister Michelle. Like, Michelle's never played. Now all her children are playing, but she's now currently coaching in the underage. We're volunteering it. Well, she'd say I don't coach, I'm just there, but she is there every week
people that are there,
faithfully,
so
and
want to
she's
keep it
helping
going.
set it up, and she is involved. And
You find that there, because I found that even on the wee bits of footage you got of you, and the same with the DC Diamonds, that there's always somebody that says, I just happened to fall into this. I just came and now
Couldn't
I'm
get
here.
out of it.
Aye, and there's that, the same kind of commitments as yourselves. So what about you, Ashley? What do you think it needs to look like? And I suppose I should say, if you're glad the way it is now, and how, you spoke about earlier on how tough it was, and now that... thank God, Ballinascreen has integrated everything under one roof. Is that the right way to say it?
it's all under one club model.
And that the pricing structure is better. Is that okay to say? Or-
Well, no, currently at the minute, for ladies football in Camogie, the registration is a bit high, but there's an announcement apparently coming on Tuesday from Mary McAleese from Integration, so let's hope it'll benefit dual club.
I don't want to take a chance and say Mary's going to get a load of money and make it cheaper, but she has the power, hasn't she?
Yeah, well, as I say,
You maybe do
apparently-
know this announcement. It's like,
I know, I wish
do you know
I
the
did.
way in interviews
I
and
wish I
TV, you come on, I'm going to talk about my latest movie, but I can't really tell you what it's about.
No, I wish I did. I wish I did know. I just know it's coming on Tuesday, so it will be interesting to see. But we're moving in the right road for integration, and as I say, let's hope it benefits clubs financial wise, and it is cheaper to play both, because it
Brilliant.
has been costly to play both.
And do you think that hopefully there'll be like a wee investment away from the fees? Is that what you think might happen for the
Well, I
clubs?
don't know, but like as I say, they've moved in the right direction. As a county player now gets not the same as the men, but they're still getting an allowance to play. You're getting your travel, you're getting
Yeah.
money for your boots. At my time, per day, I was out cleaning my boots and putting Vaseline on
no,
them. Do you know,
aye.
like they're getting an allowance now. Times have so changed that we're
Yeah.
getting there. And I know
I
some
didn't know
people-
that you get allowance for boots. No,
No, yeah, the women's, see, there's the Women's Player Association, you've got the Gaelic Players Association, GPA and WPA for
Yeah.
the women. So county players, Camogie and football are getting, I know.
Are they all sponsored by the same type of boot company? I don't want to say any
No,
names.
I don't know. I think they're getting just gift vouchers and allowance.
That's pretty
your
good.
own.
That's pretty
I
good.
didn't get it in my time.
Did
so
you
I
not?
say no.
So I'll tell you what.
Patsy Groogan sponsored my boots.
Patsy was a sponsor. So you're owed a pair of boots from the county. You're owed a pair of boots for the activation you just do. So it's been brilliant. So is there any wee things or anybody or any wee times that you want to mention that you might not have had an opportunity to say when I was waggling away or whatever?
Just like even in the early days, probably we did forget to mention the likes of Tony Moore, and like as I say, Eileen knew Tony Moore, and
he
that's
done trophy too.
Yeah, you got.
I got most improved.
There it is. There.
And
Do you
my
want to take it
daughter,
round?
my daughter. Well, this is actually my daughter's. I couldn't mislead my own. I got the Tony Moore Cup for most dedicated player. And my daughter got it for most improved player.
Deadly.
The same trophy.
Is that so? Is that a yearly thing?
Yeah.
Tony?
Yeah, or I'm not sure now if Tony still sponsors, but at the time he would have. Yeah, what I mean, and it was because Tony was along with, I suppose Mickey was the first, and then Tony came in to help, and then you had the likes of I suppose James O'Keehan, which was only a young boy still playing football, come in to take us. Early days, Paul Devlin did take us, and then he did come back in to take us when we won the championship in 2018, and then you had like so many, like as we already mentioned, Brian, but Shamie Donnelly, Mickey McAllister, Paul Martin Hassan. You know, there's been a lot of people that have been involved, and Raymond Murphy in the underage.
And Emma McGovern too in the underage.
Yes.
You know, so there's been a lot of people has been in helping, and then I suppose, well, I'd say it about. I think we had.
I think you've everybody covered, and as I say, it's been brilliant chatting to you, and you're forever now enrolled in the Voices from the Sperrins. You can't get away from it now. I'd like to thank, I suppose, everybody that has been listening to the podcast, downloading them, and leaving comments and stopping me in the shop, which is going to happen to you now after this goes out, and usually around the bread place, you know. Don't mean money, you know, the bread. And you've been both brilliant. Eileen, Ashelene, thank you very much for coming on. I'd like to thank Nathan on sound, and Stella production, and Tierney, Blaffine, Billy, Blahin. That's a class name. Blahin and Molly are production assistants today that have come on behalf of the Ladies GAA to be here and be part of it. So give yourselves all a round of applause. I probably forgot something, but here I am. I'm going to take it out. Thank you very much, Stella.